Kevin Benedict, SMAC analyst with Cognizant, and SMAC stands for Social Mobile Analytics and Cloud. Jeff, I want to welcome you back for part two.
Thank you, Kevin.
Jeff is the mobility practice leader here at Cognizant. And Jeff, in part one, we talked about HTML5, and we talked about the different variations of HTML5 and different variations of native.
Yep.
Both native that you would get through an SDK directly from the hardware vendors or the mobile operating system manufacturers, and those that you might get from a platform player like Worklight and Antenna and Kony and all the rest of those guys, Verivo and all those guys out there. Today I want to talk to you, in this episode, I want to talk about when is it best to use HTML5, HTML5 hybrid, native, or native from a platform provider.
Sure. I think I might have neglected to mention IBM Worklight in the last one. They are also a very strong cross-platform player, so I'm glad you mentioned them just now. So, that question comes up a lot as well, because all the clients that are out in the marketplace, all the companies now are trying to figure out what's the most efficient and effective way to deliver mobility solutions to their customers, their stakeholders, whoever they might be, end customers, internal employees, its partners, etc. And the question really revolves around what device endpoint are you trying to deliver something to, some information to, through a mobile solution.
Right.
If you're looking and you're saying to yourself, for example, I'm going to a consumer market, and so I don't know what that end device is, it's very difficult to do native across all the different devices that are out there, especially Android is not quite one thing. iOS is generally one thing.
Right.
Android is very fragmented, and we've spoken on,
Yes.
in the industry, there's a lot of dialogue still around the fragmentation of Android. So Android is not quite, when you say Android, that doesn't necessarily mean what it is, as much as it means iOS when you say iOS. Android can mean what version, what device, what manufacturer, because there are very custom versions of Android. So in terms of if you're going to go out to a consumer marketplace and you don't know if they're on Windows, BlackBerry, Android, iOS, or something else, HTML5 makes perfect sense because it allows you to write one set of code and deploy through the browser of the device. So in that sense, if you're looking to hit multiple mobile OSs, HTML5 would definitely be something you should take into consideration. Now, the give up, if you will, is that people will argue native offers a greater user experience. So if you can sacrifice a little bit of experience, and the differential between native and HTML5 experience is the gap is closing, if you will, as HTML5 gets more and more mature. That would be the argument. If the native experience has to be there, then you might need to look at a native SDK or a native application through one of these platform providers. But if you're saying to me, I have a field workforce, we're an iOS shop, that's all we are, we do not foresee in the next year or two switching mobile OS platforms, it may very well make good sense to just do a native app through the SDK. If you want to hedge your bets, you might want to do the native app through a platform provider like an IBM Worklight, a Kony, an Accelerator, a Xamarin, etc., Antenna. You may want to do that just so that you hedge your bets if in the near-term future you do decide to offer the applications and solutions.
Explain that concept. So you build once, theoretically with those platforms, you can deploy to all the operating systems.
Exactly right. So if you're using, say, IBM Worklight, you can build one set of code, and then you can create applications on the different platforms from that one code base. So again, it allows you some efficiencies in your application development. And even if you said today, I only want to deploy iOS, it's a little bit of an insurance policy, if you will, or a hedge against future, which none of us really can predict where the mobile future is going. To use one of these platforms that allow you to deploy to other platforms than the one. So oftentimes we'll have clients that say, I only want this one platform, and we still might suggest to them that one of these tools might still be a better hedge for future volatility, which is still very high in the mobility space.
Are you seeing platforms that can equally support the needs of business to consumer and business to their employees or business to the enterprise? Or are those two different platforms?
So it's interesting you asked that, right? If you go back a little ways, Gartner had MEAP for the enterprise platform, mobile enterprise application platform, and they had MCAP for the mobile consumer. And so they were separated, and now they've come together as the MADP, mobile application development platform. I think we are seeing some of the providers have strength in both sides. I'll give a couple of examples. So Worklight, prior to being acquired by IBM, was probably a very good tool for creating HTML5 and hybrid type solutions that could be deployed into a consumer base. Didn't have a lot of the integration to back-end enterprise systems. Once IBM has made that acquisition, they have beefed it up and made it much more robust. It's very viable as both a consumer and an app and an enterprise platform now. Coney Solutions started their history in the consumer side. They've made some acquisitions and done a great amount of development that now allow them access into the enterprise side in particular. So we are seeing Antenna also, another great solution.
Although I think they start on the enterprise side and then through acquisitions moved into some more of the consumer side.
You're talking Coney.
No, Antenna.
Antenna, exactly. They started exactly right. They were reverse almost of Coney.
Yes.
Coney made some acquisitions to give them that enterprise back-end
Yes.
connectivity. Antenna has gone the other direction. Yeah. So we're seeing the consolidation, if you will, of the players that can kind of service both kinds of stakeholders, B2C or B2E.
It's going to be a challenge out there.
There's a lot of challenges. Which perspective of a challenge in terms of which technology to use and how to go about these development efforts?
In part 3, I want us to just look at platforms a little bit more and say what are people's expectations of why they would use a platform.
Perfect.
And then I want to ask you, are those expectations met? So stay tuned for part 3.
Sounds great, Kevin.